Okay, let's be real. What if you could make an extra $1,000 a month without actually having to work for it? I know, it's the dream, right? But for so many of us, that path from zero to financial freedom just feels, well, kind of blurry and out of reach. So in this explainer, we're going to lay out the exact roadmap to turn that dream into a reality step by step.
And this quote just hits it right on the head, doesn't it? Dreaming about making money while you sleep, that's the easy part. The hard part, the part that actually gets you there, is building the system. It's about creating an engine that works for you, even when you aren't. And today, we're basically going to hand you the blueprint for that engine.
So let's just be crystal clear about something right from the get-go. This is not a lottery ticket. Like the slide says, it's about getting free slowly. What we're talking about here is building something that lasts, a durable, sustainable source of income, something that's designed for a lifetime, not just a quick win. And here it is, the whole journey, all mapped out over the next 12 months and beyond. We're going to start by building a really solid foundation. Then we'll create what we call an active engine to generate our initial fuel. From there, we build passive assets, automate the whole system, and finally, we learn to manage and scale our newfound freedom. This is it. This is our roadmap from zero to $1,000 a month.
So let's dive right into part one, which is, and I'm not exaggerating here, the single most important step in this entire process. Why? Because it's the foundational mindset shift that makes everything else possible. You have to go from being a consumer to becoming a creator.
This simple little visual actually shows a huge economic shift. See, on the left, as a consumer, money is always flowing out. But on the right, as a creator, you're building value that brings money in. This isn't just about changing how you think. It's about fundamentally changing the direction of your cash flow. And that, right there, is the starting line for all passive income.
You know, this quote just nails it. When you have a traditional job, you're trading hours for dollars. And there's a hard cap on that. There are only so many hours in a day, right? But the second you package your knowledge, that skill you have, that thing you're passionate about, into a product or a service, you're not selling time anymore. You're selling value. And that has unlimited potential.
So how do you actually do this? How do you make that shift real? Start right here. Seriously, take a minute and write down your top skills. Then pick one that you could use to help someone else in some kind of digital format. From this moment on, consciously choose to think like a builder, not just a buyer. This is your first homework assignment.
All right, once you have that creator mindset locked in, we can move on to part two. A great mindset is the spark, sure, but every engine needs fuel. This whole next phase is about generating that seed capital, the initial cash that's going to power your passive income machine.
Now, it's absolutely crucial to understand what this early active income is for. It's not for paying bills. It's not for lifestyle upgrades. It is purely seed money. Every single dollar you earn at this stage has one job and one job only, to be reinvested into the passive system you're building. This takes discipline for sure, but it's what separates the people who make it from those who stay stuck.
The entire strategy really boils down to this incredibly powerful two-step loop. Step 1. You monetize a skill to create a little stream of cash. Step 2. You immediately reinvest that cash to build a passive asset. Earn, then build. Earn, then build. That's it. That is the simple, powerful engine of wealth creation.
So where can this initial fuel come from? Here are a few proven ideas. Look, the goal isn't to quit your day job tomorrow. It's to generate a totally manageable extra $300 to $500 a month. Whether you lean into freelancing or coaching or making content, these are all really accessible ways to start funding your first passive asset.
And where does that seed money go? Well, you invest it into one of these passive income vehicles. Each of these is just a different way to build an asset that generates income without you having to be directly involved, hour by hour. Whether it's a digital course that sells while you sleep or dividend stocks that literally pay you to own them, this is where your active effort gets converted into a long-term asset.
But here's a huge warning. When you see a list of options like that, the biggest temptation is what they call shiny object syndrome, trying to do everything at once. That is the fastest way to fail. Focus builds wealth, distraction destroys it. Your job is to pick one vehicle and commit to it and only it for at least 90 days. That's how you get real traction.
Okay, on to part 3. And this is where the magic really starts to happen. Your asset is starting to generate some income.
Now it's time to automate the process and turn that little stream of cash into a growing snowball of passive income.
The rule here is simple, but it's absolute. For now, every single cent of profit gets plowed right back into the system. You're not paying yourself yet, you are feeding the machine. This is how you make that snowball grow bigger and faster, by using the profits to buy tools or run ads or outsource tasks that accelerate its momentum.
So, what are we really aiming for? I mean, $1,000 a month can feel pretty intimidating. But when you break it down, like you see here, it's just $33 a day. That feels a lot more achievable, doesn't it? That's your daily target.
This quote really captures the true power of this stage. Think about it. You write an email sequence once, and it runs for years. You create a video once, and it can get views for a decade. You set up a sales funnel, and it operates 24/7. This is how you turn a single active effort into an asset that works for you forever.
And that brings us to our final phase, part 4. You did it, you hit your goal, the system's generating income, congratulations. But the journey's not over. Your role now changes from builder to manager. You have to start thinking like the CEO of your own little business.
This is the #1 trap people fall into. They hear the word passive and they think it means neglect. It absolutely does not. Your system is a living asset. You have to take care of it, you have to tend to it, or it will wither and die. Seriously, neglect is the fastest way to lose everything you've built.
So what does tending to your asset actually look like? It's just a simple weekly routine. First, you track your performance, your metrics, because what gets measured gets managed. Second, you look at that data and you double down on what's working and you ruthlessly cut what isn't. And finally, you start using the profits to diversify into new assets, protecting the freedom you've worked so hard for.
And that's the final truth of this journey. You don't just achieve financial freedom and then, spike the football and walk away. It's a system that you create and then you manage for the long haul. It's an ongoing process, not a one-time destination.
So, as we wrap all this up, let's just pull back for a second and ask a bigger question. After all of this, the mindset shift, the engine, the reinvesting, the managing, what's the real point? What are you truly building here?
Because the goal was never just about the money. That $1,000 a month, that's just a milestone. The real product that you're building with this whole system is freedom. The freedom to choose how you spend your time, where you live your life, and what you decide to work on. That is the ultimate prize.